Well, greetings, everyone. It's good to have you with us today. Good to be back with you today after taking a week off. Welcome to the weekly financial roundtable. Remember, money's not the most important thing in life, but it is like oxygen on the gotta have it scale. And here today, I'm here as your host from Qnity, and really what we are made to do, our mission is to help you earn great money, do what you love, and have a wonderful quality of life. The world is full of complexity, confusion. It's easy to get overwhelmed and to get squiggly brained. But how can you have a clearer path towards greater financial prosperity? Keeping in mind there's old rules and the new rules really about how can we make it simple, visual, and actionable. I love this quote. This will be the theme of how we start out. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen. And lots of wonderful things have happened in the last couple of weeks that we'll get caught up on. And it's also wonderful that we have Jen and Matt joining us as guests. We'll bring them to the conversation in a few minutes here. To get closure, our last guest was Chris Whittage, a CPA, also known as the Tax Tiger. Gave a really, really great timely session, primarily about the employee retention credit. Very helpful information. Last time we were together, we also did just a quick overview of tips and tricks to stay focused, following our 3 C's: closure, clarity, and confidence. Remembering you can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. So we spent a little bit of time on that during the last session. As well as the importance of getting closure. And a great quote: if you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. All right. Now, we've also spent some time introducing our money curriculum. We spent a little bit of time going through some myths and traps that are appropriate also for salon owners and managers. Past recordings are posted on the Plan for Profits portal if you're in that curriculum, but they're also on YouTube. Check them out. The last session was great, especially if you're interested in relative matters as it relates to tax for the last session. But our other sessions, our other 57, 56 sessions cover a variety of other topics. Also today at noon, we've got our school roundtable. A couple quick announcements. Those you go through in our Plan for Profits guided course. We did a review and added some new templates in our 4th module. It was a great conversation on Monday. We are thrilled that it is coming out in the marketplace and more people are hearing about our money program, which is financial literacy for forward-thinking schools. And it's really great for salon and spa owners because you'll find a new generation of students coming out prepared and understand truth versus fiction as it relates to many things that relate with a great career in beauty. Last 3 days, I was in Chicago for a triple header of events. It was the ABS show, big regional show in Chicago, which went on unhitched. It was great. There was also a business event, the data-driven salon event, and there also was several beauty changes lives activities. We'll get to those a little bit later. A lot of sponsors at that event. We got to meet some great people. And 2 to 10, of course, is coming up very soon here. I'll share some things on that in a little bit. But let's give closure to Shorty's Hot Dog Stand. So it was our 94th and final year. We had an epic event. We had 30 members show up for a closure, and it was a wonderful thing. You know, it maybe seems a little sad to certain people, but for me, it's a wonderful closure to 94 years and a good chunk of our lives. And, you know, when I think about it, why am I getting choked up? I've been talking about this for weeks without getting choked up. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I've got some perspective on this. Well, first of all, let me give you a little background. So this is a hot dog stand our family has owned as a hobby for 94 years. We closed it this year. It was just time to close it, and it was an epic ending. On Saturday the 4th, it was actually Shorty's Hot Dog Stand Day by an executive proclamation in the state of South Dakota. There's a big celebration and award there. But here's the deal. When it comes to closure, sometimes whether it's closing a business or a project, it allows you to give perspective. And I have an analogy. So here we've got this tradition that's gone on a long time, a business, if you really want to call it. It was really more of a hobby. And it reminds me of a collection of photos that I did many years ago. It's called Shadow Man. And ultimately, I was taking all these pictures. I published a book. And in the back of my mind was like, I've still got to take pictures on that theme. And when I declared it to be over, and so, this project is over. It's been wonderful. I published a book and I can mark the end to it and look at it as a complete body of work. I had this amazing peace of mind. I've got the same peace of mind with Shorties because it's a body of work. It's a project that lasts many decades. And we really can now step back and look at it for all the wonder. In terms of something like that for our family, it was about family, friends, and fun. And we have so many family members that now are getting married, and with destination weddings, it no longer made sense for us to, for many people to take their 1 week vacation, go to this random place in South Dakota. So it's really a cool thing to be able to look at what's next, as opposed to really lamenting something that's sad. I don't really think it is being sad. Also, there's lessons in transition planning. There was consensus amongst our siblings that it was really time. I mean, imagine if you had a salon that required it to be completely rebuilt, and the next generation was on to other stuff and didn't necessarily, or wasn't interested in having the torch passed on to them. Then what you do is you come up to a consensus and you move on. It's the same thing with many of you that have shut down a location in the last year or two. There's silver linings that come out of this. So those are just some of my perspectives on that. All right, let me see what else I've got for you guys here before we bring on the guests. We hope that you'll find some light bulb moments today. I think there's no doubt that you will when you get a chance to meet Jen and Matt. You should have a 9 grid that was furnished to you. And you can use a 9 grid to get closure, and you can use a 9 grid for a lot of other things. Last 2 weeks ago, we went through the 9 grid, reminded you there's other ways to use a 9 grid besides just a storyboard. So hope you find your light bulb moments today. We're going to welcome to the Brain Trust, this amazing Brain Trust. This is probably about a quarter of the people in the Brain Trust. We keep adding amazing people. And without any further ado, why don't we have Jen and Matt come on camera and come off mute. Good morning, guys.
Hi, how are you, Tom? So happy to be here.
Good to see both of you. I'm excited to get a chance to spend time together.
Yes, us as well.
So, I've seen the two of you around, but we really have never had a chance to spend time together. Matt, we finally had a chance to spend some time together this last weekend, and you guys have such a great approach and a great demeanor. And we'll talk about your focus in a little bit, but with one of the first things that struck me, and maybe I caught you off guard with this a little bit, was your story of entrepreneurship. All right, so you started a business, we'll get to it a little bit later. It's called Canvas Me, and it's in the space of human capital. So all of you listening in today, we are going to get into the subject of human capital and things that you can do, things to do, not to do, different resources, because as many people are suggesting, we might be in what's called a human capital crisis, and that's just not in pro beauty. So that's why it's always a good idea to bring subject matter experts and people that are out there on the front line with really unique, creative solutions that's highly relevant. So we'll get your business later, okay? But your journey is extraordinary. And I get to see a lot of entrepreneurship stories, but this one kind of stood out to me. So walk me through this. So both of you were working in beauty, software company, Millennium, right?
Yep.
And each of you, and you're married. I think everybody maybe have figured that out at this point.
Yes.
And both of you decided to leave Millennium, right?
Yes.
Pretty good paying jobs, probably for both of you.
Yep. We have 2 little kids.
Yeah, we had a lot of responsibility there. It was a really cool time there.
But you had this dream to start this business. And so one of the things, I'll kind of cut to the chase here a little bit. So you actually owned a home at that time. You moved out of your own home and started renting it?
Yes. So we're renting our home out. Yep.
All right. So take us through your journey and the price that you paid to start a business, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs on here and it's always wonderful to see the journey that entrepreneurs go. So we'll start there. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so we saw a huge need, we went through a purpose discovery exercise, discovered that this was our journey, our purpose. We ended up both quitting our jobs. We had 2 small kids at home. We rented our home out. We moved from New Jersey to California to live with my mom, so we could fully fund and start this business and get this business going. We all slept in one bedroom. Me, Matt, and my 2 children. We slept
all 4 of you slept in one bedroom.
Yep,
Yeah.
for about a year and a half.
Yep.
Yep. I got rid of my car. I mean, we gave up all of the things for that full sense of fulfillment, to fulfill that long life dream that we really didn't even know we had until it all clicked through this exercise and we just went right for it.
Yeah. And Tom, I'm a realist too. Jen is
Yeah.
a dreamer, right? So we complement each other really well. And when we started to think about this idea, I was completely terrified, right? Like no paychecks. We didn't get paid probably for about a year and a half, maybe about a year and maybe 16 months. So for me to go through this, but to see her transformation when she went through this exercise and to see, like, as much as we loved it at Millennium, we were missing something. We weren't truly being fulfilled. And the moment we took that leap and got over that fear, it was magic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started living by the mantra of the fear of regret was bigger than the fear of failure for me. And so
that's a good sound bite. Say that one more time.
the fear of regret became bigger than the fear of failure.
That's a really good life lesson, Jen. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I always love to see when people start businesses and leave their employers on good terms. So this was a good term type thing. You left and it was all hunky-dory and all that, right?
Yeah, so we just kind of spoke to our leadership team and really talked to them about, one day Millennium, the founders of Millennium, they had a dream too of entrepreneurship. And it started from sweat, blood, and tears, and we have that same dream. And so really just aligning ourselves with, we are the same, right? We're going through the same kind of journey. And so it was just really kind of awesome. We parted ways. I actually help them still to this day. They're part of our family. So we have a lot of love for them. And it was just kind of a great, like, kumbaya, goodbye, but this is not the last time we'll be together. So.
Yeah, I mean, John Harms founded Millennium in his basement. We founded Canvas Me in Jen's mom's house. So it's it's pretty similar.
All in one bedroom.
Yeah.
So here we have an audience of salon leaders, owners, and managers, and they're looking for any possible nugget, any actionable nuggets to have an edge when it comes to recruiting and retaining talent. Mm-hmm. And, you just in the interest of full disclosure, you do have a product, but you're not here selling, you're providing education, but obviously we can't avoid your company here. And so you had this dream, you went to great sacrifices, and what problem were you trying to solve that you had this impetus to go to this extreme to start this business?
Yeah, so for years at Millennium, we got the pleasure of working with thousands of beauty business owners. I was there for over 15 years. So I really worked one-on-one with thousands of beauty business owners. And their number one complaint was, how do I find talent, right? Or maybe some of their existing talent and their top earners weren't the right cultural fit, but they felt like they were strapped and they had to just, stick with it. And they were bringing down the rest of the culture. And so, walkouts, there were all of these things that stemmed from not really attracting or finding that right human to join our work family. Because at the end of the day, this is our culture, this is our work life, right? This is our dream, everything that we built this on. And so we want to find the right people to carry out that culture. But how would you have done this, prior to Canvas Me? It was a really difficult task. And so we wanted to solve and humanize that business owner through leveraging technology, through a platform that helped them connect with the right artist, with that right professional. And that's what Canvas does.
You used the word humanize, and I think I just humanized the two of you by sharing your entrepreneurial story. Perhaps that might be an example of what salons can do. I've noticed many, and is that true? Do you think that salons could do a better job at telling their heart story? I mean, how they started and what their purpose is?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think we're so bogged down with the day-to-day stuff that I think we forget why we all started these journeys to begin with. And I have to tell you, Canvas Me works and it's a great platform, but what we've done over 2 years and the relationships that we've built and the brands that are working with us, I would say probably 60% of that reason is because of our story. It's because of who we are and what we brought to the table. People have tried to do recruitment platforms in the past too. They haven't succeeded. And I truly feel like we've done a really good job of understanding and building a culture and a following because of our sacrifices and because of what our mission and vision is. And our whole goal is that our members, our salons and spas that are on the platform are able to do the same, and they can do that through their Canvas Me portfolios.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about connection, right? How do we connect with that employee, with that customer, with that guest, right? And so I think, with a job board or through words, it's really difficult to form that type of connection, which is why you see a lot of Gen Zers, they're going to YouTube. They want to consume video. They want to really understand what's your brand about. And I do believe that over time, I mean, Matt and I have been in this for about 2.5 years, and there have been moments where it's gotten really hard, and you forget that purpose or you forget the why. And so we're really passionate about revisiting that on a regular basis, because not only does it help you bunker down and get that grit when things get hard, but it helps everybody get in line behind you because they too stand for that cause, right? If you're in, we're in the business of giving people a voice and giving them a sense of belonging, right? Yes, it's a tool, it's a platform, but that's the business we're in. And a lot of people want to champion behind that story. And so what is it that people want to champion behind in your story, right? And have we shared that story, and have we shared it in a really vulnerable way that creates that connection that people are willing to march behind that?
Tom, have you ever seen a college football game where the players are coming out of they're coming out of the tunnel and they tap a sign or they tap something that's memorable? We do that at home. We have posters, we have signs, we have our mission statement all over the place every day. We're thinking about it because it's hard. It's so easy to forget. And it's like Jen said, there's been a lot of hard moments, a lot of scary moments, a lot of frustrating times. We've cried, we've laughed, but you just can't forget about why you started.
It's the mindset, right? And your purpose, and all boils down to that.
So what, let's get a little bit tactical here. So what are some of the biggest misses by salon leaders when it comes to recruitment?
Yeah, I think it's that branding piece. I think we forget how important it is that, yes, I think we're so focused on bringing in those guests, right, all the time, that we forget how important the brand is from a humanizing perspective to attract the right talent. So we really, when we speak to our owners and we educate with them, we talk to them, we bring them through this purpose discovery exercise. We want to make sure that they understand what is their why and why this path has made them the happiest it could be. And then that kind of stems down to their staff and then of course their clients. So we started the brand level and making sure that they're able to talk about these things and put these things out there in a way that's attracting stylists as well as guests.
Can you share an example of, and this is all unrehearsed, we had some prep time together, but, and I didn't ask you to share an example, but I will now. Do you have an example of maybe a before and after of someone that really probably wasn't humanizing themselves to the marketplace, didn't share their story, and voila, now they do? And what's the impact?
Yeah, it's a good one. Do you want us to share our screen or just talk about it?
Just talk about it if that's all right.
Yeah, I think there's a really cool spa that's coming out into the market. They have about 9 locations. It's called Face House, and they were having a very difficult time attracting right talent. So they have SDs. It's a really cool business concept, and we brought them through this whole purpose discovery exercise so we can help them create videos that attracted talent. They had the consumer side down, but it was really, they had an issue in these locations just getting talent in there and keeping the right people there. So we had them help created these videos and these mission statements around all of that, and they're doing a really good job. I think what they're seeing is a level of connection, and they're seeing more loyal employees and better environments because they're able to talk about things that matter, how they're affecting the community, what they're doing from a charitable perspective, all of that, the benefits, education, it's also important.
Yeah, I think even brands are understanding this now through our platform, and they're coming to us and they're giving out scholarships, right? Because at the end of the day, they're reminded that their mission is to really empower the beauty space. And so how can we do that through, like, let's not just say that we're empowering the beauty space. I think a lot of times we have this mission statement and we live by this mission statement, but are we really fulfilling what that mission statement does every day? And so they're actually giving back in form of scholarships and humanizing their brand. And now people are going, wow, this company really cares about the future of beauty. They're actually giving us scholarship money. And so I think things like that and storytelling that way and really putting your money where your mission statement is and following through and not just having it be a statement, I think is just speaks volumes to the industry.
Yeah, and I know Sheila Wilson's on the call too, and she does a really good job of this, but we also offer the opportunity for mentorships on the platform. So it's a great way to bring in
So
local artists.
There's a lot of brands that are doing that now,
Yeah.
right?
So it's a great way to bring in local artists and vet local talent in a way that's not scary. It's not intimidating. They're pretty much just shadow days. They're getting to know the staff. They're getting to know the culture and seeing on both sides if it's a right fit. So we're seeing that a lot with students as well as licensed professionals.
And we're doing that through video, right? Like we see a lot of fear-based mindset, right? These young professionals are fear-based mindset. They're scared. They're not sure they know enough. And so this whole mentorship program, which a lot of brands are doing now with us, this whole mentorship idea through video that these salons are communicating that they want to give back, they want to help you learn and grow before you even graduate or as soon as you graduate, whenever that is just alleviating that little fear-based mindset and saying, oh, wow, this company wants to help me grow. And they genuinely want to help me get acclimated with this organization before I come in as a full-time employee. And so that kind of stuff has been working really tremendously, fabulously through our platform.
You know, when the word fear came out of your mouth, the first instinct that went to my mind was fear-based recruiting. And more, I didn't expect you to go to the student, but that makes a lot of sense. And I do believe in working with salon owners every day that there's a lot of fear in this area. You know, there, some significant changes in headcount, which is real fear. I mean, finding. So I'm not a salon owner right now, but I certainly have fear for clients and friends because they're struggling. So how do salon owners and leaders take the fear out? Because sometimes fear can really come through in some of your messaging. Do you have any do's and don'ts?
Well, I think what we're doing too on the platform is we're better educating our members. So when they apply to opportunities, we take the fear out. So because the business owner, the salons and spas are able to provide so much amazing information on their culture, on their business, on what they're doing, those members that are applying feel really prepared and they know exactly what they're getting stuff into. Because listen, we talk to business owners every day, and they set up these interviews and people don't show up every single day because they get scared and they feel like, oh my God, I'm not ready. Maybe it's not the right fit. But now we're seeing less and less of that on the platform because we're better educating that. So I think education is a huge part of that. And I know school people are going into schools, but this is a way for you to be always constantly in front of local schools and local talent without having to be in front of them in person.
I think too, it's about humanizing who you are as an owner, right? Being an owner, especially as a new professional out there, I'm scared to communicate with you because you feel like you're so, above me in a way. And so I think humanizing yourself and bringing that little piece of vulnerability that, oh, wow, she's just like me in a way, I think helps people from back to that connection word, right? It's all about that human connection. And it helps alleviate those fears of like, oh, wow, I can totally be part of this work family because I feel like, Tom's going to really take care of me. He's going to help me, nurture me and grow me. And this is something that's really exciting for me now, right? Versus that fear of, I don't want to mess up and I don't want to make the owner mad and I don't want to. So I think the more we can humanize who we are as people through our journey of when I started this salon or spa, I did this or X, Y, Z, or this is why I'm doing this, or this is what we do in the local community. I think that really just helps form that connection where it lessens that fear and drives that right person.
And one more tip, humanizing your staff, monumental. They're going to be one of your biggest selling points when you're recruiting new talent is humanizing your staff. So that's a big tip there.
The word humanized has been used several times out of both of you. And I think I know what that means. And you just mentioned humanizing your staff. So what does that look like, humanizing your staff?
Yeah, we had a great salon in Minnesota, Revolution Salon, that did a good job of this, but they had a quick little video. It doesn't have to be produced. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You take out your iPhone.
I feel like the less produced it is, the more authentic, the more organic it is. That's what this new generation is looking for.
So you just take out and you talk to them about like why they love to come to work every day. What are their goals, right? What is it they want to accomplish in this amazing industry? And when people are seeing the staff interact like that way, they can identify with, oh my God, I have the same goals, or I can feel like I can hang with her every single day.
What's their journey look like?
Yeah,
Or what, you know, what are their dreams, or what do they accomplish every day at work? What's the day in the life like? Those are the things that we could story. It's all about the story, right? Those are things we can share stories about through our team members to really create that authentic connection.
So they created a quick little video that talked to each staff. It was about 45 seconds. It was amazing.
And where does that video go with those videos?
Yeah, it goes right on the portfolio. So when people are applying, they watch that video and they're like, oh my God, this is great. And they click one button and they get their beautiful portfolio sent to that business owner. It's super easy.
You mean it's on their recruitment webpage then?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So now,
So on
yeah, go ahead.
So now, this probably is not a fair word to use, but I'll throw it out there anyway from somebody that really, you know, imagine someone has no idea what you do still, you know, in a sense, are you matchmakers?
Yeah.
So funny. He says that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you at a very high level, it's like LinkedIn meets Match.com, but just for the beauty industry. And again, this is just for beauty professionals, cosmetology students, and beauty businesses brands. You're not going to see people outside of this industry on the platform.
Yeah, got it. You know, this is really exciting to me because I've heard about some of your results, which sound incredible. And you know, if I'm a salon owner or manager now, I'm going to want to look for any and everything I can do to help give me an edge. And again, we walk a fine line here, guys. And when we prep the call, I'm very reticent to promote other companies and products. And that's not why you're here. You're here as educators. But also, I'm not doing this group a service if we don't describe your product a little bit more specifically, okay? Matt, if it would be helpful for you to grab the screen and show something, you're probably not prepared for that, but if you'd like to, if that might be a better way to share with the group what you guys are up to.
Yeah, I think we'll real quickly, you know, in a minute, we'll show you a quick portfolio because this is what people are now creating all over the country. And then we'll show you a business opportunity just so they can get the idea. So if you want to show, why don't you show Samantha?
Sure.
And I'm going to show you a student with purpose, guys, just so you can see how amazing and what we're doing from a professionalizing perspective with the industry. So you can see what people are going to be applying with. So this is Canvas Me. You're going to browse professional portfolios. You can actually browse for talent as well as post-job opportunities. And I'm going to just show you Samantha Yeager.
Yeah, actually, I pulled Samantha up over here.
Oh, cool. She's an Aveda student in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe.
I'm actually going to make my screen bigger. There we go. So this is what a portfolio would look like. And this is what we talk about, the humanization piece, right? And so how on a Word doc resume as business owners, we're vetting students or professionals through Word doc resumes, and they're just words. We're not connecting with who this person is, what their dreams are, what they're like, how do they speak, how do they show up, right? And so what we do is at a high level, I'm just going to scroll really quickly. They're creating these in school. We're actually creating school curriculum so that we can really empower that student to have less fear-based mindset and feel really professional when they hand this or when they send their link, right? They can share this link with you and you can see all this. I can watch a video.
Hey, my name is Samantha Yeager, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I want to work in the cosmetology industry.
So I can see, you know, she goes on to tell her story about how she loves volunteering at the local charity house and all of these things, how she makes women feel beautiful. And so you can really get a sense of values, right? At the end of the day, we want somebody that aligns with our values, and you can hear Samantha's values through her story. And so this is what we mean by how we're humanizing. We see her education, we could see her My Work. She's actually part of the Beacon program. We know a lot of the elite students participate in the Beacon program. We could see that. Why I'm Here, preferred brands, specialties, employment information. There's a lot on here. Certifications and awards. We also sync with Instagram. You can click this and actually follow her on Instagram. We sync with TikTok, all of the social channels, because we know as business owners, we are going to go search them on those channels. So essentially, this just becomes your launching pad of how can I see these people on Canvas Me, but also everywhere else on their social channels. And this is just everything in one, right? Portfolio meets your resume. It's all digital. I can share this and say, Tom, this girl is outstanding. You need to look at her. I can copy paste her link and send it to you. So really, really powerful in even from a school perspective, how we're humanizing, but from a business perspective, maybe we have a collective of people that are buying into this next group of hires and we want to share the portfolios. And then they can come over to the opportunities. And this is what we mean by humanizing opportunities is you can also watch videos. You can,
And so
so you can watch videos and then you can hit send my canvas. So this is where the human piece comes on the portfolio, on the opportunities piece.
So again, now they can apply and feel really good. They hit one button. They don't have to worry about uploading documents. We make it very, very easy for the next generation. This is what they want to see. They want to be able to create a portfolio, apply to amazing opportunities in less than 10 minutes, and they can do that.
Yep. Millennials and Gen Zs do not want to spend more than 15 minutes applying for an opportunity. Yeah. Because they're the generation that grew up with everything at their fingertips, right? They want a car, they order an Uber, right? They want, you know, a sandwich, they go to Uber Eats, right? Like they have everything at their fingertips. So that applies to the workplace too. They want to be able to apply for an opportunity with a click of a button and make it really easy for them and show up in a really beautiful way. And so that's really a lot of what we're solving is, even though we may have had opportunities in other places, how is the artist showing up in a really awesome way where they're just easily applying, right? And so that's where we're bridging that gap too.
So I'm a salon owner then, and what I can do is I can scroll to see who's out there that fits so I set my own parameters.
So you could do two things, right? You can browse applicants in your area, and then you can post an opportunity on the platform. When you post an opportunity, anybody that's on our platform within a 50-mile radius, any school or any student, any alumni, licensed professional will also get an alert. So you're gonna have instant eyeballs on your opportunities when you publish them.
I've got to think that, at least on paper, this seems to me it might also prevent turnover, because you might have a little bit better idea what you're actually getting.
Correct.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, that's the whole point of it. We saw at Millennium, we saw so much turnover happening, and we were trying to figure out why that was. And it's because back then, or before Canvas Me, people had to really hire out of desperation. I mean, listen, I know there's still some salons that have it down pat, and they work with schools and they do a really good job.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of salons that don't have that, and they're hiring out of desperation. And these people are leaving within 6 months because they're not the right cultural fit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw some of when I was getting ready for the call, I had a little extra time this morning. I was scrolling through just some of your success videos, and there are certain people they posted, and, they just had like incredible results. They had all sorts of applications and people like hires, like bam. Obviously we've got to be careful here in terms of, any promises here, but
Right.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, this is an entire movement. This is an entire movement to really professionalize this process and by leveraging technology, right? I think yes, it's important to still go to schools. It's important to still have a relationship with that local community. But at the end of the day, the technology helps you stay in front of those people 24/7, right? All the time. Maybe something came up in your salon. You can't visit the school this semester, this quarter, or this, for this career week because you're wearing a lot of hats and you got a lot going on, right? Well, now you can leverage technology to be in front of these students or in front of these people in the local community all the time without physically having to go, every single, you're not like feeling like you're missing out.
Yeah.
So I think those in-person relationships are still really important. I'm not denying that. But I do believe let's leverage technology to continuously stay in front of people versus those 1 or 2 touch points that we try to do, each quarter or each, half year.
Yeah. This goes way beyond Jen and I.
It's
honestly.
a movement.
Yeah.
It's a movement of let's humanize each other. Let's connect on a human level. And let's really maybe I'm an entrepreneur that's really passionate about giving you a voice and giving you a sense of belonging, and other people that have those same sense of values want to march behind me, but maybe you're really all about, being sustainable and going out into your local community and saving what are those stories and how can we really continuously get them in front of up and coming professionals?
Sam Bricado just raised his hand, and let Sam come off mute. I don't know if you know these guys or not, Sam. I mean, we're let's get Sam off of mute. There he is. This is an excuse for me to say hi to Sam anyway, because Sam's a regular on here and I always love seeing Sam.
I obviously know who Sam is, but we've never personally met Sam.
All right, so apparently he's going to come out hot with a question for you. Sam, let's see if he can come off mute here. Asked to unmute. Sam, if you can't talk, why don't you type something there? Oh, there you go.
I had to come off bike before I could come off mute.
You're on a bicycle?
I am. I'm in Soho, standing right near my salon. I'm on a bicycle.
Amazing.
You know, Sam, we got to get together. We're not far.
We're in New Jersey.
Yeah, we're 20 miles outside the city.
Love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you two take your meetup offline. And Sam, what you have a question?
Oh, I hit the raised hand button.
You did. I thought that meant you had a question. What do you think of this thing, Sam?
You know what? I have to tell you, I stopped at Washington Square Park for about 4 minutes when you started the roll through on the videos, so I'd have a really deeper understanding. And then I continued riding and listening, and it sounds like a match made in heaven. I mean, it really does. I think, I don't know if you guys have seen the YouTube video we did for our salon.
Yeah.
About 2 months ago, but if you could track it down, I think it might be on our website, sambercotsalon.com. But I just think it's incredible. It's another level of, and as sort of a helicopter thinker, I see it going in a lot more industries than here. So I'm sure you guys are into that. But more kudos and questions, Tom. But thanks for asking me up.
Yeah, of
Thanks,
course.
Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah. Drive safe. Is that an electric bike or you got like a real kind of bike there?
This one today is a real kind of bike.
All right.
Yeah.
Not that electric bikes aren't real. So
No, we were in Vermont mountains this weekend. I saw a lot of people with an electric assisted.
all right. Well, I got to be careful we don't
Ciao.
digress too much. Sam, we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Right.
So let me play the devil's advocate because I look on your portal and you work with students and then, you work with talent. And then you also, those selling talent, professionals that want a job. And then you also work with those hiring. So does this create more of an atmosphere for the talent to migrate more with their professional portfolio? Or is it like a one-time, I want to get a job and I'm going to settle in? I mean, what is there a risk for a salon owner that this portal could backfire?
So this is where we feel like that culture piece, right? Like if you nurture your employees enough, if you cultivate that sort of environment for your employees that they're leveling up, they have the education, they feel like they're part of that work family. I don't believe they'll leave, right? Will people stay forever? No, I don't think that happens in any industry. But I do believe it all stems from that culture. And where I'm so passionate about this is, yes, people will eventually leave you, but they're not going to leave you because Canvas Me exists. They would have left regardless, right? They would have just maybe done it in a different way. And what I'm so passionate about is let's get excited about, okay, they no longer want to be here. It's their choice. But how can we now get really excited about the new talent that we can easily bring in because we have this platform, we have this tool that's attracting that next level of artists that is excited to be part of our environment, excited to be part of our culture. And so I really think it's about perspective.
What other trends do you see from the recruiting and retaining staff? Nuggets for what in many cases are like big market leaders on this call. What other nuggets do you have for them?
So for me, I'm really passionate about emotional intelligence, right? So yes, it all stems from the leadership team, how to retain that culture, but I'm really passionate about emotional intelligence. And I think that there's a lot of personalities in a salon, right? We hear a lot about this, like, oh, they're catty, they're talking in the break room and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I think the more we can help our employees show up as the best humans, right? The best people. It's not just about work. Yes, it's about technique and all that stuff. Let's help them grow. But I think it's about how they become the best version of themselves. And the more time we invest helping them become the best version of themselves, we teach actually a really awesome emotional intelligence course. The better people they will be in your salons and spas, but also at home. And I have a personal coach, professional coach that helped me through my journey and helped me understand my purpose and helped me understand my values, right? I didn't have that level of clarity. And I know a lot of people don't. They just know they're passionate about beauty. And so once you can gift somebody that gift of clarity and that gift of emotional intelligence and how to understand their own emotions, how to better interact with their clients, those people skills, and they become better humans, they're forever indebted to you. I am forever indebted to my life coach, and I'm forever indebted to the person that helped me through this. And I really believe in a service-based industry, that's a hot topic. That is a high priority. And I think that that's something not only we should be looking for in the next hires, in the next set of people that we, how emotionally intelligent are they? But I think that this is something we should be giving back to our employees, because when they become better versions of themselves, it impacts everybody.
Yep.
And so I really, that's like my one love. And that's one thing I wish more people would do.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I see you guys also as thought leaders of the generation, your generation of the professional beauty industry. And it's so wonderful to see so many really smart professionals like you with a fresh perspective, and that's super exciting. Jen, you have a interesting background story. Oh, here we have a question. Hi, Darren. How are you? Darren's going to be at 2 to 10. Will Canvas Me be at 2 to 10 conference? How can we get more information on the platform, get us set up? Okay. Michelle, either one of you, we'll be done in a second here. One of you can type in the chat the best way to get a hold of you guys. And again, you're not a sponsor or anything like that, so I didn't do all that kind of due diligence, but I do know that this is very affordable. I mean, you started quote numbers, this is not a hit on the budget, and invest in what's important to you. If human capital is important to you, invest in getting human capital. That is my bumper sticker short suggestion. Sounds like Michelle has already put in there. Will Jen and Matt be at 2 to 10? Jen, unfortunately, will not. Matt will be there. Matt is there not actually on behalf of Canvas Me. He'll be there on behalf of Reach, which is a technology company that they also work with. So they double dip. Not only their business that they created, but they're also executives with Reach Technology. So Darren, you'll have the opportunity to meet Matt at 2 to 10, not really as a sponsor, but as a participant with another company. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to you. So
100%.
Jen, your story.
Yes.
A little bit about your story.
Yeah. And my purpose story, is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, and you're from Portugal, where my wife and I were engaged, so that always warms my heart. So and how you grew up and that kind of stuff, and maybe how that fueled the genesis of this company. Matt, not that your story isn't vital, but we get a chance to spend a little bit more time with you. I didn't get a chance to spend time with Jen this weekend. So Jen, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so I grew up, my parents were teen parents. They had me really young, 17. And my dad, as soon as he realized he was having a baby, was really frightened and pretty much exited my life. So I grew up not knowing my dad. So my mom became this single teen mom that didn't know what to do with the newborn. So she turned to her mother, my immigrant grandmother, to help raise me. So I was raised by my grandmother. My grandparents are from Portugal. And so I remember most of my life, my grandmother didn't speak English, not a word. And so from the moment I could read, write, and speak, I became my grandmother's instant translator. And there were so many moments in my life where I recognized that my grandmother was dismissed because she didn't know the language. And there were so many moments where, people would try to communicate with my grandmother and she would say in her very broken English, I don't understand. And can you tell my granddaughter? And they would look at me, and I'm this 8, 9, 10-year-old, it's an adult, and they would be like, forget it. And so there's so many moments of shame in my life where I witnessed and felt that I didn't have a voice, and neither did my grandmother. And so I grew to form this very false belief that I didn't have a voice in the world. And so not only that, but for most of my life, because I grew up in a different family dynamic, I felt like I didn't belong because my friends had mom, dad, siblings at home, and I had 2 grandparents and my 2 aunts. And I always felt like I was so different. Not only did I not grow up in a traditional household, but I grew up with grandparents that didn't speak English. And so for the most of my life, I formed the belief that I didn't belong. And so I grew up to, work in the workplace. And I went through this exercise that brought me through this journey of remembering, these moments, these life-defining moments in my life. And I recognized, oh my gosh, my purpose is to empower people, to give them a voice and give them a sense of belonging. And I'd been doing that all along. When I was working at Millennium, I had actually very high performing, happy teams. I had a team of about 15. I was across 2 teams. I ran education and marketing. And I was doing that, but I didn't know I was doing that once I had that level of clarity. My purpose is to give people a voice and give them a sense of belonging. Matt and I were able to quit our jobs, move across country, because it was much bigger than what I was doing there. It was going to solve not only a huge need and a huge issue, but it was going to really empower other people to have a voice and have a sense of belonging. And so I encourage everybody to do this exercise that actually I went through, that we do now, because it just really helps them, identify what they're, what they're really in it for, but also share that story really vulnerably, that people really connect.
Yeah. Matt, I know you've got a great story also. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm realizing that I could talk to you and learn from both of you for a very long time. Time's precious with this group here. So thankful for your share, and I want to officially award you the $1 million light bulb and welcome you as a member of our Brain Trust. Let's everybody give them a virtual round of applause. Give them a shout out in the chat too, if you guys will. Thank you guys. I mean, it was really fun. I've seen you guys around a little bit virtually, but being able to spend time with you and bring you to this marketplace who's really, really looking for edge as it relates to human capital. Many of them are really suffering in terms of and really worried about their business model. And it's all about talent. So thanks to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
All right, so let me see what else I have to share with you guys here. And but before I do that, hold on here. I always like to see who's with us today. So who's with us today? All right, we already saw Sam, Anna and Ashley. Hello, and Catherine and Kathy. Kathy, I'm going to talk to you very soon, which is exciting. Hi, Christine and Connie. Darren, thanks for your input there. Hi, Dawn. Hello, Heather and Carrie Bennett. Hi, Carrie Bennett and Kelly. Kelly C, Kelly P. Hello, Con. Good morning. Laura from our team. Lena's joined us. Hi, Lena from Canada. Linda from Reflect. Hi, Linda. We have Lori. Hello, Louisa. Good morning, Linnell. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Mark, Melissa, Rebecca, Sam, Sandra, Scott Schneiderman, who is threatening to be a guest in a future session, which is a good thing for all of us. Sheila Wilson. Hello, Sheila, and Terry and Tanya. So thanks for joining us today. Let's see. I've got some other things to share with you guys, and then we will wrap up. So I'm going to pull my screen back up here, and let's see what else we got. Okay. So I was just in Chicago, and it was a triple header of events, live events. It was ABS show, and man, they had a big turnout. I think there was 4,000 students alone. I think this event normally gets maybe, 30,000 or something like that, or 10 or 20. I could be way off, but it was a good crowd. And Chicago does have a mask mandate, and but everybody was super happy and positive and respectful. It was an ABS show I didn't spend as much time at. The Data-Driven Conference, I think that they had a much lower attendance than they expected this year. No surprise. But what a great opportunity. They did a great job. It was great for relationship building. And then finally, the other reason I was down in Chicago was because of Beauty Changes Lives, of which I'm on the board of. And Make Your Mark is something that Beauty Changes Lives is really working and leading the charge as it relates to making professional beauty a first choice career. I'll be talking about this more and more because there's data that's coming out that's important for all of you to know, and it's actionable data. I feel like we could do just a full session between me and members of our team in terms of what we learned. And what we learned primarily in Chicago was the power of being back in person, because there's no substitute for the relationship building, the eye to eye. And I got to tell you, it was absolutely wonderful. It wasn't my first trip. It wasn't my first. I mean, I've been traveling for a while here, but this particular trip was just super powerful in terms of getting reconnected with people, which was very fun for me, knowing that 2 to 10 is like 2.5 weeks away. And we've got a really good turnout for 2 to 10, probably the highest ratio of attendees compared to goal of any other conference I'm aware of. But anyway, I guess my message on that is that I really look forward to taking advantage of the opportunity to get back in person when you are ready, when you feel it's right. I think the time is ripe now. And I think that what the relationship building from this last weekend was worth, I don't know how many of these sessions, guys, as much as I love spending time with all of you, but certainly find opportunities to get back together in person. Reminder, Qnity in Action, our coaching service. We'd love to have you work with a coach. I totally believe in having a coach. I've had coaches for years. If you want breakthroughs, that's really a great place to start. We've shared different success stories. For example, Michelle, these before and after stories. She worked with our coach, Carrie, huge results. We do scores. We rank in engagement, execution, profitability, leadership, and growth. Do a before and after, and hers was outstanding. We also go through the different gaps, and certainly engagement is a huge one. And that relates very much to a lot of the things that Matt and Jen were talking about, telling your story, being authentic, being human. So feel free to book your free coaching session. You could use this QR code. And we already talked about 2 to 10. If you're joining us at 2 to 10, information packets are going out. We're all set. We've got conversation starters being invited. Many of them already invited, and we're prepping them. And then certainly on this roundtable after 2 to 10, we'll be sharing some findings for you if you're not involved with 2 to 10. What else do we have? We've got the roundtable coming up for schools in a little bit. We're going to have Jen and Matt. The conversation will be a little bit different because it'll be more relate with schools. Closing thoughts is, I love this quote, always believe something wonderful is about to happen. So hopefully something wonderful will happen for the rest of you today. And hopefully something wonderful maybe happened during this session because you had a little light bulb moment. We will see you next week. We're on as scheduled. I'm not sure who the guest is, but it will no doubt be a great one. So thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate you spending your precious time with us. And until next Wednesday, have a great week. Thanks much.